Hello and welcome back to Transport Fever, the Transpennine series. You find us currently sat here, well, we've rejoined the action watching the Borsig, which is on the Blackpool to Manchester Airport service, just somewhere between Wigan North Western and Manchester Piccadilly. So anyway, let's crack on. That was nice to look at, but we must press on. What I've got for you in store today, we're going to finish up putting in the passenger network for the Manchester-Liverpool area. So that involves extending our rail network down towards Southport, Wigan-Walgate, round to Bolton and down to Manchester Victoria. Now there is also services from Wigan-Walgate that you can get to Manchester Airport, which is going to be Stockport, as previously mentioned, due to the fact we don't actually have any demand for a random airport out in the middle of nowhere. When we've got unlimited funds to play with, we might just add that in for the novelty so that it looks nice, but for now we're not going to bother with that. So Stockport is currently our stand-in Manchester Airport for now. So with that, we're not going to bother with the Wigan-Walgate to Manchester Airport services because it's just not going to make us any money whatsoever. We've already got a Wigan North Western to Manchester Airport service, which is the one we put in the last episode. So they can make do with that. So anyway, let's go down to Southport. So not really much here at Southport, it has to be said. So we're going to have, I think we'll just, in fact no, let's use a flexible station. We're going to have it 160 in length, and we are going to have a curve like that. I don't know why, not thought that far ahead, but that's why, just because it's slightly different. And we're going to have that out there so we can put our little depot on the end. We'll have a 30 mile an hour speed restriction, just delete that little bit off there, and shove just a random Transport Fever depot on the end. There we go. So that is Southport. I think what we also might do is put another street connection in there. So for Southport we have the potential to run up to Wigan, but then we're also going to put in a Merseyrail service round to Liverpool. Now we're not going to do that for the time being, and the reason that is simply because Liverpool isn't big enough to have a large underground rail network, which is eventually what this Merseyrail will be. So we're going to wait for Southport and Liverpool to both expand, and then we'll put that in at a later date. So don't let me forget that, because I probably will. So yes, we'll have the two lines there, and then they are actually going to be separate lines. So that will pin out. Whoops, too much curvature. We might have to zoom in for this task. So we'll have it coming at 50 there, and then we can have that going round there. Yeah, that all works. And that's basically so. I mean, in real life, obviously, Merseyrail service is operating on a third rail system, and the Wigan direct services aren't electrified at this moment in time when the video was filmed. They're not electrified, so I'm going to keep those separate. I don't know if they're separate in real life. I can't honestly say that I've ever been to Southport, but that is how we're going to do it for this video. So we're just going to gradually follow the contour lines here, because as I say, we're still in the 1800s and our trains aren't that good at climbing hills. So we best give us something to aim for here, aren't we? So we'll have Wigan-Walgate. I think we'll have that up here. So we're going to have the two platforms, much like our other station down there. 160 platform spacing. Don't know what that means. We'll leave that at 10. Put another street connection in there, and then where that bus station is, we can just move that up a little bit, tweak that. So which part of the track we were building? We were building there. So that's going to go through there. We might even get a nice tunnel, or maybe we won't. not willing to do that. So yes, we will build that down there. Nice little cutting. Join that on to there like that. Very nice. Not too steep either. Obviously we will smooth that out so it looks less like a pine cone. And then join Wigan Walgate and Southport up there. So that is brilliant. We'll just make sure that that's signalled, because I'll probably forget that and end up with trains running all over the place. So that is like so. One-way system, obviously. I like to run with the one-way systems, has to be said. So let's see. Now we could make a very nice bridge there. But is that too high? I think that might just be a little bit too high. I think we're being extravagant for the sake of... well, we're spending money for the sake of spending money there. Don't really think there's any need for that, is there? So we'll bring that down lower. Like that. Because I don't plan... Ah, now that's going to have the 4 tracks. So that I don't do that wrong, what we're going to do... Because this will be the stopping line, or the slow lines to Preston. Now you've done something wrong there. Try again. 10 out of 10 for trying, but bring that to 70 round there, and then that matches up. So we'll put that in for now, just so that we don't have to change it later. And then bring that flat. Can we do that? Yes, we can. We'll just make sure that that other line will come down here as well. Excellent. And then we'll bring that across there. Can we make that look nicer? Nicer at all? I think we're just going to keep that at a 50-mile-an-hour limit there for the sake of it being a 50-mile-an-hour limit, and then we can just bring that back to how it was. I don't like that actually. Get rid of that. Smooth it out again. Should really have thought about what I was doing before I did that then. Get rid of all of that. Now that's going to look a real mess. There we go. Right, so we want that to go like that. There, that's what we aimed to do there. Now this is going to work. Excellent. I was a little bit worried that it wasn't going to work for a second there. Very pretty. So that's at 50-mile-an-hour speed limit over there. Because we do want people really to be using Wigan North Western for their railway into Manchester. We want this Bolton line. Well, for people from Wigan, we want them to use the fast link. So then the trains are overcrowded for the people of Bolton. Now, whether that's how it's going to work, I don't know. But we can hope. We can hope, can't we? So we'll bring that round to 60. 60-mile-an-hour speed limit there. And then, owing to how the hills and the contour lines have worked, we're going to have Bolton Station actually quite far out of Bolton. So that is going to go there. Is that going to go there? Yes, that's going to go there. And I'm just going to pause the game for a second, just while I do this, because we don't want to be disrupting the bus lines too much. So we'll put the railway out there, down towards Manchester. We'll just smooth all this area just a little bit, so it looks a bit nicer. Get rid of the steps, as it were. Just get rid of that up there, make it look a bit nicer. There we go. That's as nice as it needs to look. Just get rid of that round there. Excellent. Now, how are we going to do this? Now, I think we're going to bring that flat. And then that's going to go under. It's not going to go under. Try again. That's not too steep at all, is it? There we go. Not going to work. Now, can we just... Too much slope. Right, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to get rid of your housing estates. It's for the greater good. And there we go. So that's going to come up there rather nicely. We're then going to bring that a road out here, because it's going to expand out here anyway. And that can go on there. And then same again, that can go up this way, and we'll have a connection going straight up here into Bolton Town Centre. So that can go. We'd ideally like it to go there. Why won't you let me build here? There we go. Build that out and then down. Very nice, very nice. Although that's not very nice, so we'll get rid of that. That's better. A nice smooth road underneath. That's actually worked out a lot better than what I thought it would. We'll just smooth around the station, make it look like it's always been that way, and we've completely not bulldozed someone's house. It's just business. You have to leave people homeless sometimes in order to make a profit. Sounds harsh, but unfortunately it's a dog-eat-dog world. So we shall just connect that up, and this is where it says too much slope. And it's not saying too much slope, so we're doing well there. So that's pretty nice. I'm rather pleased with that. We need to also edit the buses so that they go into Bolton Station. And now it's just a case of building it up from Manchester Victoria. So we're going to have that come out to there, and the same again there. We'll put our crossovers in 30 mile an hour as always, keeping why break the habit of a lifetime. Add that there, so then we're going to go round like that. So we will actually keep the platforms separate, I think. And bring that around there, and then we now need to basically, I can't see because of the trees whether we're going uphill or whether we're not. We're not really at much of a gradient there. That's how we want it. I mean, if we brought it up right into the town centre of Bolton, then we're going to end up with really steep gradients both ways, and we don't want that. And on there, like that. So that all seems to work. Rather impressed with that, and Victoria's getting another service as well. So everybody wins, everybody wins. And we might even extend that service around towards Stalybridge and Huddersfield. Who knows? Depends how popular this one does. How popular this one is, sorry. So we're going to put that bus station in there. Just smooth around here, make it look pretty. Excellent. So that is absolutely fine. Brilliant. Excellent. It's all coming together now. Like it when a plan comes together. Right, so where are our buses? So we could do with another bus stop there, because Wigan is expanding up this way. And then you know what? We don't need that there. We don't need a bus station, because that is within range of that, so we'll just make people walk. I mean, we'll promote exercise. It's better to do that, so we'll just put a road in over the top of that. Has that worked? There we go. So houses can build on there, and it'll all look very pretty. Well, that's what I planned anyway. It should look nice. Anyway, without further ado, let's get our lines on the go. So here we go. It'll be standard Northern Trains purple, Southport, Wigan, Holt. That's not what it's called. We'll have to go back and change that. And Manchester Victoria, Bolton, Wigan halt in inverted commas, and Southport. So that will be NT Southport to Manchester Victoria. Let's go and change that now before I forget. Wigan Walgate. And we'll go back over to Southport now. How's that looking? I mean, it's getting a fair amount of town there, catchment area. So we're going to go with the Borsig, purple there, and we want white carriages. I think it's white carriages that we've been using, 3, 4, 5, 6. The standard train length here. So that will be the Southport to Manvic service there. Oh, I forgot to unpause the game. Could have been making us money. So there we go. And much like some of the other trains you've seen, there is a Borsig. Just make that look pretty. Isn't that nice? So we're going to put those two on there for the time being, and as per usual, we're going to just have to wait a couple of minutes while that one gets out of the way, so that we can space them equally. While that's doing that, let's just move this bus station a little bit closer. I mean, we're making them walk from Bolton, so we'll favour the people of Wigan and let them have less of a walk. So where were we going beforehand? We'll put the bus stop there. And line there, Wigan Bolton bus 1. It starts there, so we'll get rid of that. Queen's Road, Church Road, Wigan Central and Church Road again, and that all works out. Delete that as if it was never there. And we'll go back focus on our trains now. So it does actually mean that now, with the Wigan Bolton bus stopping at Walgate and the other one, Wigan North Western, that we're having a bus taking from train station to train station, so you can now get to Bolton on the train. You do just have to change at Wigan North Western from Preston and then get a bus and then on a train again, and it's quite a long way. We will probably put the direct line from Bolton up to Preston in at some stage. Well, sorry, there's no probably about it. We will put the line in from Bolton to Preston at some stage. And that one will go from Manchester Victoria, because we've already got the Piccadilly Preston going round there. Or have we? Yes, we have. It's that Northern Blackpool service. So that's fine. And then we will also have the Transpennine service operating there as well. So it's all good, really. There's going to be a lot of trains running this area. So I hope there's going to be the demand as well from it, because otherwise we're completely wasting our time. So there we go. And it also gives Wigan quite a lot of space to expand there. In fact, we could probably... In fact, no, we'll leave it like that for now. We'll let them do their own little thing. I was going to say, we will probably need more than one crossover owing to the amount of traffic, but this is 1864. Traffic hasn't really happened yet. It's quite interesting how the horse and carriages there in the shadows underneath the bridge. That's definitely different. I wonder if it does that all the time. Or whether that's just a temporary glitch. Never mind. Right, so I think what we're going to do next, let's have a think while they're doing that. I should really have planned this ahead. I think we're going to look at inputting our first Pennine crossing. He says. Yes, I think what we're going to do now is from Manchester, since we are actually making money. I know we made 16 million that year, but that was because we fell into the pork barrel. Oh no, that was last year and we lost. That was construction costs. Anyway, this year, if you look, we are actually making money from the income, the running cost. We've bought 3 million's worth of new vehicles, and we're still in the green, so it's going well indeed. So we're going to go up towards Stalybridge here, and then possibly, depending if we can get over the hill, we're going to go over to Huddersfield. Now we might have to go through it, depending on the contour lines again. Because it is a very steep hill here, of which we're going to try and fit everything into. So Stalybridge here, we want, how many platforms do we want Stalybridge to have? 3 there, that's absolutely fine. 3 platforms. We don't want it to have the second street connection. We do not, and that's quite important as for why that is, because otherwise you end up with a rather messy looking thing going on at the other side of the station. So that's there like that. So we need services down towards there. So we really could do with it being flat for the junction, because otherwise it's not going to look nice at all. So that's going to go like that. We can cope with the 40-mile-an-hour speed limit. We're not really that bothered about high speed. And that there. We'll go like that. So we'll bring that across like that and link it all up. Smashing. So what we're going to have here, when the express services come through, they'll have to go on this end track here if they are going round towards Piccadilly, and then they can go round to the right hand side here. This will be the Ashton Victoria line here, so we really do. I mean, this junction in real life has a 25-mile-an-hour limit, but we really could do with that being faster. Now we can do with it being 40 around here, that's not a problem. But what we don't want to happen is it being faster to get into Piccadilly than it is to get into Victoria. And the reason for that is that then everybody will get on the Scarborough Liverpools through Piccadilly. And we want people to use the Victoria line to Liverpool, because it will be faster, he says, with utter confidence. So we'll bring that up to 50 there. And then we're just at a downward gradient, and that should bring us into Piccadilly nicely. Victoria, sorry. It'd help if I knew exactly which station I was on about there. So that, too much curvature. That's probably due to that. So we'll get rid of that. Can't imagine why that would be too much curvature. There we go. It's not the fastest route in the world, but it's going to be faster than the Piccadilly route, I can tell you that much. That's there like that. Smashing. Right, so that comes up to there like that. We will smooth all this out so that it looks less, well, frankly it looks horrendous, but we will sort that out, I promise you. So then, basically, oh, what's happening there? We'd best keep an eye on that, make sure it doesn't go back the wrong way. So yes, we'll keep that on there. Now we might not actually get any trains running on this section, but we're putting this section of track in to prepare for the future. Oh, thank you, autosave. Don't know what we'd do without that. So yes, and now we have run out of money. So we're gonna, I've repaid some of the loan. So as opposed to taking more port barrels, we are going to just take out some more loans, sorry. So that, we don't want it as harsh as that. And down. Down, 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 down. Towards there. That's actually going to end up quicker than that. Hold on, because we want rid of that actually. You've done that wrong. Bulldozer's coming out. Rid of that little bit there. And we'll just smooth all that over. Because we're actually going to have the Woodhead line on this. Now the Woodhead line shut years and years and years ago, and hasn't been open since, and it basically is another Pennine crossing, or Transpennine crossing, which they kept. It was closed to passenger traffic very early on, and they kept it open for just freight, and it basically comes from Manchester over this section of the Pennines here, down towards Penistone, which isn't on this map, but it would be about here with Penistone, and then down into Sheffield that way. And we're actually, for efficiency, we're going to open that and keep it open so that we can have Sheffield Manchester passenger services going over via Edale, and then the goods services can come over this way, which will hopefully mean that we can maximise goods going over without interfering with our passenger traffic. Now, whether that will work or not, who knows? It could just end up being exactly the same as when British Rail had it, and we might end up just having to close it anyway. I'm hoping it won't, but you never know. So that's going to come up out of Manchester like so. And then, just to slow that down a little bit, we're going to put that as a 30 limit. And like I say, the reason we're wanting to slow that down is so that it's quicker to get into Victoria than it is to get into Piccadilly. And I've left a little section of track. Now, why does that happen, I wonder? Just to make that look a bit nicer. All fine. Oops, we've done it. We've done what we did not intend to do. We've forgotten about that train in the corner there. So we'll they're fine. Luckily we got it just in time. They'll sort themselves out. They will. So that's absolutely fine. Sorry, be on your way. Sorry for the emergency stop there, folks. Right, so we are focusing back on this now that we've got rid of our trains. So I'm going to bring that up to there. It's quite steep. Oh, that's not coupled up. Get rid of that. Try again. Excellent. Right, so we're gonna then bring that round as well. So it's actually a very steep climb out of Manchester. That is the one from Victoria is considerably less steep. So so yes, that's pretty much the Manchester track constructed. So we're going to have from Stockport, that'll be the south route via Edale, where the current Transpennine services to Cleethorpes run. Then we've got the Woodhead line, which is going to span over here, and then the Stalybridge line round to Huddersfield, and then we've got the Calder Valley, which will go that way. I'm not going to put it in yet because we're going to plan that. That's for a future episode, so do stay tuned to watch that. But yes, what I think we're going to do next time, we're going to have some coal in Sheffield. No, we're not, because Sheffield was originally for steel. So we're going to see. We're going to have a look at what industries can make steel. So we're going to have coal and iron ore over on this side, and we're going to have steel over that side. So that will be the challenge for the next episode, is the Woodhead freight line. So we're not going to do anything around Stalybridge as of yet. I'm going to find you something nice to watch. Why not this nice train here passing through this lovely forest? There we go, isn't that pretty? So yes, on your screen very shortly in the top left hand corner you will see a subscribe button. Do click that so you don't miss out on any future Transpennine action. Top right hand corner is the latest upload. Why not check it out? It might be your cup of tea, it might not be. Bottom right hand corner is the Transpennine series playlist. That's to make sure that if you want to check how we built any previous things, you can have a look in there. And you can also find all our next episodes in there as well. Thank you very much for watching. Chuck a like at this video if you did enjoy it, and until next time, goodbye for now.